Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to start this video with acknowledging someone who has left a very important comment, very detailed comment, and not maybe easy to read, but I really want to acknowledge this person. I am very aware that a lot of people are afraid to leave comments under the videos of many YouTube creators, and we know why. But there are still some like you, and your name is Perceived Reality. I would like to acknowledge you. I would like to read this long comment that is full of details and facts that many of people still are not aware of, or they are perceiving a different reality than actually the name of your account here. And it will all make sense, because after I finish with this comment, I will give you the news of the day. That's no surprise at all. That's how the universe is. It's all connected. So let's start. Zelensky didn't try to prevent the conflict through diplomacy because he lacks honor and integrity. In 2014, there was a coup. Soon after, there was a massacre in Odessa. Dozens of people were burned alive. Ethnic Russians living in Ukraine were treated as subhuman. Their language and culture was being oppressed. A civil war broke out due to the rise in ethnic tensions. For 8 years, the Ukrainian military was indiscriminately shelling civilians living in Donbass. If Zelensky honored the Minsk Agreement and pledged neutrality, none of this would have happened. The 8-year civil war would have ended, and Donbass would have remained part of Ukraine. War is the ultimate failure of diplomacy. Zelensky, Poroshenko, Merkel and Hollande admitted that Ukraine had no intention to honor the Minsk agreements. Who didn't want peace? Who advised against the 2022 peace talks in April? Hint: someone visited Zelensky in Kiev at that time. Russia's national security was compromised once NATO began to expand eastwards. Russia clearly stated that Ukraine joining NATO was a red line, November 2021, and unfortunately, this concern was never taken seriously. The Russians openly stated, if nothing changes, we will be forced to act in order to defend our national security. Enhancing the national security of one country at the expense of another is unacceptable. The Russians have legitimate security concerns. 20th of September 2021, Ukraine launches military drills with US and NATO. NATO is not a defensive alliance. NATO illegally bombed Yugoslavia, a direct violation of the UN Charter. We should never forget what they did to Libya, Afghanistan, Iraq, etc. Who blew up the pipeline, causing an environmental disaster? Zelensky banned all opposition and arrested a leading priest. Zelensky tried to invoke Article 5 under false pretenses. Remember the incident in Poland? Ethnic Russians living in Ukraine were treated as subhumans. Their language and culture was being oppressed. Poroshenko said, "Our children will go to schools and kindergartens. Theirs will hide in the basements." Russians will never forget the 2014 Odessa massacre. The whole world needs to know about this. Why was Denis Kirir eliminated? He was a member of Ukraine's negotiating team during the peace negotiations. He wanted to help his country. Ukraine has a hit list. They target artists, journalists and ordinary citizens. Hundreds of children are on this list. 13-year-old Faina, if I mispronounce, sorry guys, Fine Savienkova was placed on this list. Pink Floyd Roger Waters is on this list. Jimmy Dore, American stand-up comedian and podcaster, and Aaron Mate, Canadian writer and journalist, are on this list. There is an evidence that Ukrainian troops have been indiscriminately shelling civilians in Donbass. They used petal mines and targeted areas where there was no military presence. The Azov troops trapped in the Azovstal steelworks in Mariupol used human shields. They refused to allow civilians to leave despite of the humanitarian corridors being present. Russia held a proposed ceasefire in order for the civilian to leave, but Azov would not allow the civilian to leave. Ukraine has committed many acts of terrorism. Car bombs and other forms of assassination. Daria Dugina, journalist, rest in peace. The first terrorist attack on the Kerch bridge, this is Crimea bridge, right? Killed the truck driver and individuals in the adjacent car, innocent civilian victims. The second terrorist attack on the Kerch bridge killed 2 parents and severely injured their young daughter. I have done a lot of research and it took me a long time to write this comment. I have a lot of stated facts and I have given my honest opinion. First and foremost, I am very, very grateful for someone like yourself to watch my channel, to put your input. You leave comments frequently and this means a lot to me. You are engaged in this community here that we are creating, and in spite of all of those things that you have mentioned, you are not afraid to leave comments like this. That's why I decided to start this video with this comment, because it's important. We cannot give in to fear, guys, because if everyone is afraid, what's the point? And if people don't know certain things, they will be still living in their la la land of Hollywood illusions, right? So let me now find the news of the day. Here we go. This is actually right on the topic from TASS, May 21st, that is today, Tuesday. Ukraine's Zelensky should be tried for war crimes, said the head of Donetsk People's Republic. And let me read you this short article. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky should be tried for war crimes, head of the Donetsk People's Republic, Denis Pushilin, told TASS. We, the residents of Donbass, have no doubts that he, Ukrainian president, deserves a trial, that he is a war criminal, Pushilin said. The DPR had pointed out that it was Zelensky who gave criminal orders and took a position that seriously endangered both the residents of Donbass and the population of the rest of Ukraine. He also emphasized that Ukraine technically lost its eastern regions in 2014. Therefore, according to him, questions about the legitimate both of Ukrainians presidents have been particularly relevant over the past 10 years. Earlier, Russian Security Council Deputy Chairman Dmitry Medvedev told TASS that Zelensky should be arrested and tried as a terrorist or eliminated after Kiev's capitulation. So let's jump into the second news, guys. Still in the topic of shelling and losses. 20 Ukrainians killed, 115 injured over a week due to Ukrainian shelling of border regions. And that said Rodion Miroshnik, who is the Russian Foreign Ministry's special envoy for the crimes of the Kiev regime. Over the past, 135 civilians suffered, as this article says, from Nazi shelling. 115 people were wounded, including 7 minors. 20 people were killed, including 1 child. The diplomat said that in total, the Ukrainian armed forces fired at least 2,109 rounds of ammunition at civilian targets in Russia's frontline areas last week. Quoting him, "We are forced to note an increase in the targets, Ukrainian attacks against civilian targets in the Russian frontline regions. Every day, the Ukrainian military fires over 300 munitions at peaceful territories. The deliberate targets of shelling and attacks are placed where civilians gather." Civilians gather in public areas and private transport, bus stops, medical facilities, private and multi-story residential buildings and infrastructure facilities, he pointed out. Miroshnik also said that the enemy massively used foreign-made weapons for attacks, rockets of Czech, Turkish and American production, ammunition for dropping from drones produced by the EU member states, as well as American long-range ATACMS missiles. And last but not least, meanwhile, Joe Biden says, that was yesterday on Monday, that Israeli forces are not committing genocide in Gaza during their operation in Gaza Strip. I got choked from this. Against Hamas. Quoting Biden, or whatever it is, whatever creature is this, "What is happening in Gaza is not genocide. We reject it. We stand with Israel," Biden assured during a meeting at the White House with representatives of the Jewish community in the United States. So the shit show continues, the suffering continues, and that's what I have for you guys today. I would like to thank you for watching, for hitting this like, for subscribing, sharing, leaving the comments. I am very grateful for all your donations, all the coffees that you're buying me. The links are down below, as well as my locals community. You can become supporter there as well, or member of this channel. You also have Instagram, you can follow me there. Please do so, because I'll be traveling very soon. Join my mailing list just in case. And I don't know if you can see, I want to show you. Let me just flip this bird right there. I don't know if you're seeing him. I think you can. With all of this, guys, stay safe, lots of love, and remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. Bye everyone.